Okay, we've got skim coat layer 1 up here. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got some ridges in it and all that. It's just the first layer. It's certainly not a finished coat by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm going to change up the way I did it. I did that internet method where you see where people take a bucket of skim coat, they wet it down, and then use a roller with a specialized nap on it, or a heavy nap, roll it up under there. Created a complete mess. And then I saw somebody else using a method of using a drywall hawk and just going a little bit by a little bit. You can see the lines in there a little bit better. And doing a little bit more of a complete job as he went along, a little bit thicker coat, and not wetting it down. And I like that. There are a couple areas where we're going to knock it down. So we're going to do that. Well, this is what it's looking like so far. I'm not sure I like it. It doesn't seem to be improving past a certain point. And I gotta be honest with you, I've put drywall up on a ceiling before. I think it's easier. So I think we're gonna shift gears and see if I can get some 1/4-inch drywall and put that up there and see how that looks. Might have to do something with the light fixture, but it won't be too bad. Anyway, that's the nice thing about owning the property. If you want to change your mind on how you're doing the rehab, you can do that. Okay, new camera today, and a new plan. I did 2 coats of skim on this, and I don't like it. In order to do this right, I'm going to have to sand it, and that's the whole thing I'm trying to avoid. So I've made a decision that we're going to go over this with 1/4-inch drywall and then just basically reboard it. Right now I am looking for joists, ceiling joists, and I got a hit on the stud finder there. However, that is not a joist. It sank right in there. We're going to go with an old reliable method involving a very sophisticated piece of machinery. Works better on walls, but I'm going to mark that spot there and do a little exploration. But if my thought is right, and check that spot too, and see how it goes to a deeper pitch. Check around there. All right, so we're gonna find one of these spots here. I'll drill some exploratory holes and see what I can find, if I can find a ceiling joist there. I'm pretty sure these are 16, or not 16s, 24s. I don't know though, we'll find out. Okay, so we got our first line snapped, and then I can transfer that down to the walls so that when we're putting up the drywall, I know where to put in the screws. Very simple, just takes a little bit of prep time. Okay, I have a new patented technique for finding studs. Let me show you how this works. What I do is I take our sophisticated piece of machinery and I punch a hole right there. Then I take another sophisticated piece of machinery. Most people think that this is the holder for a paint roller, but they'd be incorrect. This is a highly sophisticated stud finder, so nothing that way. However, when I go this way, I hit solid right there. So, what's that right there? Boom. That's a stud mark. Let me make that a little more pronounced. Right there. And drill a nail in, we have success. We have a stud hit there. So I can use that as a reference point to measure off 24 inches either way, which I believe to be the span on these because we got 24-inch. I could be completely wrong now that I think about that. We'll test 16 either way, and then we'll test 24. But I've got a solid reference point now, and I can just take a tape measure and go either way. All right, and we have our joist markers. See these little paneling nails that I have sticking out there? So what I can do is, now that I have that measurement, I can go to this wall on the opposite side, take my tape measure, measure off from the wall, and begin looking for the joist on the other side of the wall so that we could snap the chalk lines here. Now, no guarantees that these are going straight across there. In fact, what I thought was a pretty standard 24 inches on center, it's hovering around, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 24. There's a little bit of variation in each mark, but it's hovering around the 20-inch mark. So we can start on this wall and measure off and do the same thing on the opposite. All right, secret weapon time. This is the cheapest drywall lift on Amazon. And get the basic concept. I've seen enough assembly videos of this online. Those spread out like basically kind of a tripod thing. And tell you what, I'm gonna assemble this off camera and then we'll get it together. Maybe later I'll do an assembly video on it, but you're not really here for an assembly video on this, just to see the drywall. So I'll get it together. Okay, this is actually a pretty intuitive setup. What you saw me pull out of the box first was this bottom piece here. I push down on that ring and it folds out like a tripod basically. And then this piece right here, I figured out that this triangle shape just kind of slides into the bottom right there. There's a notch for it and pretty natural. This piece I just put up top. And at this point I'm going to read the instructions and see what we got going on here. But this looks like a super easy setup. Let's see if I can widen that out there. I got another camera coming in a day or so. Hopefully take better shots of this. But one thing I have figured out with this thing, you really want to set it up in the room you're going to use it in, because this is not conducive to going through doors or hallways. I'm going to have to kind of tighten. I might have to partially disassemble this thing to move it to the next room. So what we'll do in the hallway, I'll have to show you. I'm going to use a trick called the third man, involving 2x4s with a 2x4 screwed to the top to form a T to help to hold things up. And we'll get that going, but for right now, I want to get this thing put together and get it operating. Okay, so I got a sheet up on here. I got the clips holding it and everything. I can already tell one issue. We need more weight on this end of it. So I'm going to put my foot on it whilst I crank this thing. This is hard because you're really not supposed to do this one-handed. Are we good? I'm going to have to put the camera down for a second and deal with this. 1 second. Okay, I'm calling it. After 2 coats of skim coat, I was not happy with the results. That gap there, I don't know. I didn't span that too well. I caught the joist on the center there. Oh well. So much easier putting up overboarding than skim coating. I'll fix that somehow. I mean, it's a kid's room. They're not gonna notice for 18 years until they have to go to their therapist about it. But that's what we're gonna do on this one. And then we're gonna do the same over here. Because again, 2 coats of skim coat and it still looks like a popcorn ceiling. So I'm not that impressed with skim coating, to be frank. But, you know, maybe I suck at skim coating, which is highly possible. So, we are going to move forward with that. And I'll get this together. You're going to see some dips. Everywhere I see a gap is a dip. I have figured out something. Around the perimeter, I'm going to put up crown molding to kind of even up the perimeter of this. So the crown molding would be nice too to kind of help me put some pressure up to hold the perimeter up in place, because some parts are still hanging down a little bit. Here, let me get that filming right. So, what do you do? It's an old wall that's already wavy. So it's not going to be perfect, but now it's encapsulated. And this room in particular is important for it to be encapsulated because a child on the autism spectrum is going to be in this room, and he will dig into the ceiling given the opportunity. So it's better that he digs into this. So I'm going to get some. I'm going to use some Fast and Final. Basically, this is patch paint, lightweight spackling. It's all the same thing. And I'm going to fill in the over the nail heads, and then we'll see if we can tape the seams up. I'll decide if I'm going to do the crown molding first before I tape the seams, which I might do, because you can see there's a little bit of unevenness at the edge there. If I put a piece of crown molding in there and push it up, that'll tighten it up. So all around, not bad. I mean, we're not going for perfect here. So, go ahead. Other way. Roll it up. Yep. There you go. Do you need some help?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the hard one.
Hey, Victor, you want to help her? Victor. Oh, there you go. There you go. Crank it. Crank. Victor, come help your sister. There you go. There you go. Keep going.
I'm going to help you, buddy.
You guys got it. Good job. Now I'm going to put it in place so we can put it in all the way up top.
I don't need a help anymore.
No, you do. Let me get this set up. All right, hang on a second. Hold on for now.